Ugh, my head. What is this? I know this song. I know it. It's the song my sister and I used to listen to when we were children. My sister Anna. I remember. I am Emma, the girl who fell from the bridge 14 years ago. All this time, I've kept the traumatic memories hidden inside my head, but this song has set them free. Anna, you have been alone in the dark this whole time. I don't know if you are still there, but I promise I will do everything in my power to find you. It's time to find out what's behind the vault door in the sewers.
You know, even though your sister specifically told you not to do that. Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Tormented Souls, where, yeah, you probably could have seen this plot twist coming even all the way back in part 1. Yeah, Caroline Walker is in fact Emma Wildberger. Kinda to the shock of absolutely no one, although I will admit, first time through, there were a few things that did kind of throw off my suspicion. Like, again, I mentioned earlier that maybe I thought Caroline might have actually been Maria, or, you know, something or other, but yeah. Now, this is a plot point that, again, it's an obvious twist, and even if predictable, one that is at least built up throughout the game. It does also kind of come at a bit of a cost, because, again, while we learn that Emma, at least after all the events went down, as you're seeing in the diary entry, you know, she fell off a bridge, managed to survive somehow. What exactly happened to her after that? Did she end up in an orphanage? I guess she was obviously adopted or taken in by a family since she has a different surname, but yeah, there's a lot of details that just aren't really filled in at this point, and again, I don't know if it was just logistics or no real way to put it into the story, but I don't know, like, I mean, I get the impression that, I mean, if the Pollock sect really needed, you know, Emma to complete the ritual, why wouldn't they go searching for her, you know, down the ravine? Even if they missed her, why not check the local orphanages? Why not explore around town? I mean, I guess they might have done that, but again, there's just not really a lot of detail. And even in that case, like, I mean, it doesn't really detail much about Caroline's life. I guess for the sake of not spoiling the twist too early, or at least early enough than what we already saw, but it's a little bit frustrating to me because, well, let me put it this way. They try and obscure details about Caroline's life. Again, there's never a point in the story where it would be necessary for her to bring it up, or at least out of context, but it is something that I feel kind of leaves Caroline to be, well, lacking in context, for the lack of a better phrase, if you'll pardon my redundancies. What is this? William Wildberger. He is gone! And, seriously though, what the hell happened to his body? Is he... No, he's dead, so how is he... he might have been moved, but even then, why would he do that? I don't know. Whatever. Leaking brain juice, but what is this? Oh, another tape. The final tape of which is dated 1994. And if you'll pay careful attention, it also seems to be the day that Caroline decided to investigate the mansion. I think we all know where this is headed. But yeah, this is all pretty much tying into, well, what was basically... Oh no, wait, we got a Tormented Souls, so we gotta run away. I was too eager to get the plot started, but, yeah, I didn't want to risk getting eaten by the Tormented Soul. Again, like, I mean, to kind of go back on my previous point, well, to go back to then kind of postpone it a little bit, yeah, I wouldn't say the game narratively falls apart at this point, but, you know, there is a bit of structural weakness. So, yeah. And that does also kind of tie in with the ending in and of itself, so, yeah, kind of stay tuned for the end credits when I finally detail that in the last part. But anyway, on to more important matters, it's time to go backwards in time, as we eject that videotape. By the way, look at how fast it just goes in. Seriously, man, it's like you're fucking throwing a ninja star going shoop! Crikey. Anyway, we are now in the dentist room. And again, this kind of goes to show you what William Wildberger was doing, because, yes, this is very much well, while he was still alive and still conducting his experiments to find a cure, which, as we picked up earlier from the Infinite Room, was very recent. You do learn a little bit later why these creatures were becoming monsters, but, yeah, William seemed to co-opt his grandfather's research, and was basically using the creatures as guinea pigs in order to test the serum. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this is a bloody beautiful piano piece. Again, my major credits to the composer, that's it. Sorry, my brain's a little bit falling asleep today. But yeah, again, as with the other areas in the past, you are limited to where you can go. I mean, it's not even really much cleaner, so... yeah, probably didn't put too much effort into differentiating the past. And again, they put blocks in areas where you can't go, so... yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is the final entry of William Wildberger's diary, actually, where he talks about how somebody came into the mansion. So he unknowingly knocked out his daughter and was planning to use her for, well, his experiments. I mean, I suppose it does make a modicum of sense since, again, it's been years since he last saw Emma Wildberger, so I guess he probably didn't, know, but at the same time, though, Christ, man. I mean, I suppose he could have talked to her, or maybe... it just kind of made me wonder, well, I wouldn't call it contrived necessarily, because I guess he might have mistaken Caroline for an intruder, and by the time he knocked her out thought, yeah, fuck it, I'll just use her as an experiment, but... I don't know. I mean, I get the impression that if, you know, William just talked to Caroline, then things probably wouldn't have worked out in the way that they have. Or at the least, you know, probably been a little bit more amiable. Yeah, again, it's quite strange. I guess he could have written William as like a Dr. Kaufman kind of guy, except maybe, like, slightly more heroic as they try and solve the mystery together, but... yeah, whatever. The point is, that's the end of William Wildberger's diary entries. He saved his wife, and then he drank a lot and died. Thus is the story of William Wildberger. Just 2 people down now. All we have left is Father Christian Mann and Caroline herself. And Emma, if she's still alive. And the syringe. But anyway, that's not the most surprising part, because indeed, this part is full of revelations. Because again, you might be wondering what we're doing back here. The first area of the game, one might wonder. The message ain't even there? Oh no, wait, no, it's gone. Because it hasn't been left there yet. Yes, we can't open any of the items because we open them later on, but look at what we're gonna see here. A familiar bathtub. Well then. Yep. You ever wanted to know how Caroline lost her eye? Well, remember the vault. Requires 2 eyes to open, and only that of Caroline's genetic line can open the vault. So, as Emma Wildberger, we need to get the scalpel, and we need to dig out her eye. By the way, this does actually lead to a very funny remark if you, examine the eye. Well, actually, I think it's going to be coming up after we get it, but, she just remarks, I can't believe I fucking did that to myself. I don't know, bit of gallows humor. By the way, you don't actually see the eye getting removed, and, I mean, even in that case, if you remember the earlier cutscene, like, I mean, the graphics aren't, like, so detailed that it's going to be incredibly squicky. Well, I mean, okay, you do see, you know, the inside of it, but, you know, you don't see anything too gory. In fact, if for nothing else, that kind of looks more like the eye from the Neversoft logo more than it does, you know, what would happen if you actually mutilated someone. Not that I would know anything about that, of course. I mean, I've never killed anybody in my life. Except for the people in my creepy basement. But anyway, that's pretty much the final puzzle piece. Now that we've got the Eye of Agamotto, of Yugimoto, yeah, we can pretty much just bugger off and head down to the sewers and open the bunker. Which, I mean, again, I suppose Caroline's probably just got tunnel vision on saving her family, or what's left of them, but yeah, you remember how Anna specifically said to not go in the vault? Bit of a reason for that, and again, if all these monsters and frightening creatures weren't enough of a deterrent, then Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, given the fact that Anna was left down there for years on end, and, you know, gouged out her own eyes to prevent this from happening, yeah, I really don't know what to say. I mean, I suppose the ending does kind of factor into this, but... And by the ending, I mean the good ending specifically, but... Yeah. I suppose that might be part of what was really bugging me, really, is Caroline's motivations, because again, she is very single-tracked mind, even when, you know, at the beginning of the game where, you know, as Caroline, bereft of her memories, she would otherwise have no reason to go through with this, you know, apart from plaguing nightmares, which even then could have been solved by a therapist. Well, okay, not necessarily solved, given the nature of therapy, but at the very least understood, I suppose? I don't know, the game kind of hits this, like, halfway sweet spot between, you know, being, like, understandably... well, I mean, Caroline's motivations are understandable, but at the same time... I don't know, there's a certain driving influence where, again, I suppose it's meant to be akin to, you know, the typical Silent Hill, Harry Mason, I need to save my daughter kind of thing. Except, whereas Harry spent a lot of time with his, you know, with Cheryl and, you know, obviously raised her, it's understandable as to why he'd keep going through hell just to save her, whereas Caroline, and I suppose Emma by extension, didn't really know all that much about Anna, at least up until recently, so, again, at this point, I guess it's somewhat understandable why she's going to these lengths, but at the same time, I mean, if Emma herself was, no, not Emma, if Anna herself was, you know, resigned to keep the vault shut, wouldn't heeding her warnings be a smarter thing to do? I don't know, I mean, I suppose the end-all be-all answer to all of this is because game, otherwise we'd have a very unsatisfying conclusion. But I mean, if nothing else, I don't know, I guess you could have potentially worked like a fourth ending out of this sort of thing. Like, again, let sleeping dogs lie, and again, this does kind of tie in with the, normal ending, but... Yeah, I don't know really, like, I mean, in a similar vein to what happens if you try and leave the Spencer Mansion at the beginning of Resident Evil, I don't know, you could have done something like that. I don't know, but again, that kind of, gets into ending spoiler territory, so you know what, I'll save my thoughts for a little bit later. But now it is time to go down to the vault, now that we just had a save of the game. And, yeah, this is our final area of the game. We're coming to the end of Tormented Souls, and while it probably hasn't been the most popular commentary I've ever done on this channel, and has admittedly taken a much longer time to complete than I thought, again, it started spur of the moment, so fucking whatever. Hey, look, it's the Neversoft thing. Dun 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 dun. We have fun. But yeah, final area of the game's coming up next. Should probably wrap this up in about like 2 or 3 parts. Again, I intend to get it finished in this recording session, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway, now it is time to arm ourselves up and let us enter the bunker. So, the bunker is open, and on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keeping new metal, and next time on the Tormented Souls commentary, well, we're gonna finish this. Catch you next time.